Alright, welcome for this third stream on porting Game Jam game to my own engine from Godot. Today what I'm gonna try to do is program the logic for the camera. So you can see in the original game when I get to the left of the screen, the camera shifts by one screen basically. So I'm here and then I arrive on the next screen. I would like to try and implement that today. And so let's see what it looks like on my, what's the current state. So currently, let's make a ground for the kid to be on. Oh shit, right? So currently, when you reach the edge of the screen, that's the edge, not actually, like this is the dimension the game is rendered in, and this is just letterboxing, like a black bar on the side. And so currently when you reach the end, nothing, the camera doesn't move. So the goal will be to make the camera shift. And the camera, there is no real concept of camera in the code right now. It's just like translating everything, translating the coordinate space a little bit, so that it looks like the camera is moving. And so currently, there is something kind of strange. Currently, I'm rendering the game in a off-screen render buffer that has the dimensions, the dimensions of the pixel art. So I think it's something like 120 by, let's check actually. So that's the off-screen pass. And it's rendering in a rect that has 200 pixels in width and 2 times 75, so 150 pixels in height. I think those numbers are quite arbitrary. I should pick better ones. But that means that I added some stuff to be able to scroll the canvas, basically to scroll the screen. But it doesn't really work very well. Like if so first of all, there is some math problems, so it doesn't zoom at the correct location. And you can see the translations are completely messed up. But so I can dezoom, but then the pixel art resolution doesn't match. That's actually kind of cool. Kind of cool. The pixel, the off-screen buffer resolution doesn't match the pixel art, and so it's all pixelated, which is not the best to work in, though it's kind of fun. But so what I'm getting at is that we want to get out of this low resolution buffer mode for editing the time map. That way we can see more of the game at once. And the way we do that is, so this is the code that draws the whole game, and this is the stuff to handle zooming and panning until here. I could probably extract it to a function later. And this says, please do the following things, draw commands, in a separate off-screen buffer. And so, everything is working, yes, I think so. And so, if I comment it out, let's see, until here, comment that out, save, should hot reload, and now everything is like super tiny, but it's rendering in the full screen render buffer, like the window, what do you call that? Frame buffer? Frame buffer. And so, okay, so now I can zoom and it gets readable again, but I can also unzoom and draw more than one room. And so what I want to start with is to like draw some limits where the room will be split, right? Draw some lines here, debug lines, so we can see in the editor what is which room. And I guess I should go back to the game on the web. So okay, I shouldn't have closed it. Wild woods, wood, these. All right. And count how many tiles we had per screen, because I think it was a proper number. So we can play it on each. Run game. Eventually, I'm also gonna do a web build of the version in my engine, because I think that's super handy and nice that you can run games without having to trust the programmer that made them to not put a virus in it or something. Okay, so I'm a bit. So I should count. My goal is to count how many tiles there is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's about 10 tiles, 206 points. Okay, 10, I'll do it by hand. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. About 20 something, 25. I guess I still have the project here, yeah. It'll make it easier. Godot, okay. So I should click the tile map. I'm always very awkward with Godot. Don't know how to control it properly. So how do you make a selection? For example, a rectangle selection like this, maybe? Yes, good. And I see that's the coordinates, I suppose. So okay. So here, that's kind of what I want to try to implement, the purple lines. I think that in this version of the game, it's kind of colliders that trigger when you touch them. That trigger the scene transition, or not the scene, the camera movement, basically. So okay, so this is the bottom left. So what? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, 26. That's good to know. I'll note it down. So 26 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Is it that wide? 20. Okay, let's go by 5, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46. Okay, 46. Okay, that's the resolution, like not the resolution, but the numbers of cells that we have in one screen in the Godot version, it seems. Good. So how, like, let's say, so a tile basically is 8 by 8 pixels. So then I can, from that, derive the size of the buffer that I should use. Currently, so what should I do? I guess I can make like defines, constants as a defines. Define cell count x, and room will be the term that we use to designate a single room. So the width of the cell, the room in cells, is 46, and then the height is 26. Okay. then we can use those constants in here. And that would be times the size of the tile. I don't remember if, yeah, tile W is the size of the tile in pixels, I believe. Room cell count Y times tile W. Okay, and so that should magically give us, so we should, of course, we should re-enable the off-screen buffer. So it renders everything in the off-screen buffer instead of the frame buffer. Okay. And that seems pretty good. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Yeah, I guess it's pretty much, it should be correct. It should be correct. 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. 26. Yeah, sounds about right. We don't have to be perfect anyway. And so, since it's an off-screen buffer, it resizes properly. Like, I just draw the buffer once at the end on top, and sizing it depending on the window size. Maybe one thing I could do is change the clear color so we see the boundaries. So instead of black, I make the clear color gray. And so that's a color. Can use grayscale up, make it dark gray. Okay, so also the interesting. So the off-screen texture or off-screen buffer must be transparent then, I suppose, because it takes clearly the whole thing got dark gray. So it means that the off-screen buffer doesn't draw over the frame buffer. So could fix that pretty easily actually by just drawing something instead of the good way would be to clear when we render the off-screen buffer, and maybe I could add that functionality to the engine somehow, but I'm very lazy as usual. I will just yeah, I will just draw a rectangle here of the size of the draw rect size of the screen, or size of the actual buffer. So that's off screen. What was it? The one I just set? Forgot. Off screen pass. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Render dim. Weird name again. Render dim. So the rectangle should cover the whole screen, so it should start at 0, 0, and then extend until as many pixels as the buffer has in both dimensions. And we should specify a color, so color, well, black for now. All right, and now we can visualize all of this just to visualize what is outside of the off-screen buffer or not. And now what I would like to do is add a hotkey to swap between this view where we can like zoom in and out, and the game view where we can't, and basically the one that uses the off-screen render buffer and the one that doesn't use it. And I wanted to just put the chat in view in case somebody is coming by. Oh, hey! Hey, Heike! Oh, Heike! Nice to see you here. So just doing some streaming using my engine, trying to convert a game jam game to my engine, basically. And yeah, so far I've been streaming with 0 viewer, I think, but nice to see that you're around, getting the hang of it slowly. Yes, I noticed you. Really nice to have somebody in the chat. All right. So, as I was saying, oh, that's something else. I can show you if you want. I was going back to some UI experiments inspired by the clay thing. I don't know if you saw clay. Now I'm talking directly to you, but don't feel that you have to stay. But clay was. Oh yeah, of course. Yes. Thank you for stopping by. But I was going on a tangent, but Clay is a layout library that was released recently that allows to do auto layouting with C. And like I had some experiments that were similar in progress, and so the other day I tried to continue, and this looks like that in code. Deferred UI looks like this, so also boxes, like similar to Clay in the logic. Anyway. Have fun with the archery lessons then, Heike. Thanks for stopping by. Although maybe you stay for a little bit much. Yeah, okay. I was thinking of trying it out in the web demo to check out how it works in detail. Yeah, definitely, me too. I think I downloaded one of the samples and tried to run it, and it worked. It was pretty easy. Had to use CMake to build it. But I didn't look into much detail yet. It looks very interesting, for sure, and very well done and very polished. I was super impressed with the video he made to showcase it as well. Huge quality, like the quality is super high, the polish. Anyway, back to my stuff. So what I wanted to do is like a hotkey to switch between the editor view and the game view. So that would be key just pressed with mods. So I can just put a key combination. So key E and key mod, something like this. I know mod. Yes, mod command. And so if I do like Control E, this will return true. Control or command on Mac. I think this is defined as super on Mac and on Control in everything else. I should probably rename. Yeah, the Clay video is very well polished. Yes, definitely. It actually like sets the bar so high. I want to do some kind of stuff like that for the engine at some point. And that's quite inspiring, actually, that the way he presented everything and explained very well also some concepts like in GUI. Pretty impressive. So if we press E, then we switch. So this is the game state that I keep around and that survives hot reloading. And we can add a bool like is editor or something like this, or editor mode. Yeah, let's go with editor mode. And if we press Control E, we want to switch the Boolean editor mode. So if we were in editor mode, we go out and vice versa. And I can already try that. That's a bit basic, but as a demonstration. So right now, okay, this line tracks the value of the editor mode. It should show on the top left. Yeah, editor mode false. And if I do like Control E, it switches between true and false. That's pretty small on this. probably it switches. And so now I should just use this value to decide if we should go, if you should enable the off-screen pass or not, basically. And that would be, maybe I introduce a scope here to signify that it's the off-screen. And same here, like off-screen and editor mode. And it's if we are not in the editor mode that we want to do the off-screen thing. So I should add this. Okay. So this looks like the correct zoom level for the game. And then when I do Control E, yes, it switches to the big view, to the editor view, where I can zoom and move around, and the resolution is much higher, so the zoom doesn't break. And now this black background shows only on the top left, which makes sense. I'll fix that later, that's no problem. Or I can just make it very, very big. I guess I should add a function to the engine that queries the resolution of the what's on screen, basically. But I can just make it super big. Shouldn't be an issue, as far as I know. Up. Yes. All right. Okay. Now, what do we want to do? So maybe just a comment. Draw a black background would be replaced by a sky. Would be nice to clear. So yeah, now I want to draw some lines in between the rooms when I'm in editor mode. And by the way, I should just make sure that when we are in the game, there is no zooming. Like if, so the zooming is completely, like it doesn't really work in the, first of all, there is some math problems, I think, with my off-screen thing, because it zooms off-centered, but it also does, like it breaks down. If I zoom too far out, it completely pixelates my stuff. So I just don't want to allow any zooming whatsoever or panning when we are not in editor mode. So I will reuse this if statement, and I think all of this is the navigation part. So that can be like editor navigation, and we push some kind of transforms here, and those we pop them later. That's why the indentation changed. So we should also do it only in editor mode. Oh, by the way, this is wrong. It should be, if we are in editor mode, we do the translation and scaling. Try to keep the chat here just in case. Oh, bye. Gotta go. I like the code I see in you. Yeah, Hot Reload is so nice to work with. Yes. I know you're a big fan as well. See you soon. Thanks for having stopped by, and yeah, have fun at the archery class. Then what was I doing? Oh yeah, the off-screen thing. I was missing, like this should be like when it's editor mode, we do all the navigation, and then otherwise not. So okay, it's already running. Yeah, hot reload is such a such a nice feature to have. I would recommend anybody that does games from scratch to try it out, to implement it. It's not too hard, maybe a bit annoying, like on Windows, for example. You have to make sure the files are properly deleted or moved, or you cannot delete them if they are still in use, so you have to move them to temporarily like do some little dance. But then when it works, it's pretty neat. What was I doing? All right, okay, so now that's good. I'm holding the middle mouse button and moving, it doesn't pan. Whereas when I'm in the editor view, it does pan. So great. Perfect. Now to implement, maybe we could hide this in game mode, although it's nice to be able to edit stuff on the fly, so we'll see. So now we want that when the player goes out of the screen, we move the camera. And how are we gonna move the camera? Good question. Up. We are simply going to push some more transformation. So the way it works is when you push a transformation, everything that goes after will have that transformation applied. So if I shift everything to the right, everything after my push will be shifted to the right until I call pop. And that way we can implement a camera, kind of. So if I look into that, that's code that I already wrote, and it calls this engine function translate. And yeah, to do implement camera movement. So perfect. So let's see. Just to show, like here I'm there. If I shift everything to the left a little bit, you can see everything shifted. You can shift it a little more. Whoops. Okay. So that's basically what we want to do, but we want to shift by render dim, I guess. Actually, that's pretty handy to have. Yes, and so if I walk right, yes, it appears here. So now let's try a little ad hoc implementation. Like if the player position in axis X is bigger than rendered in X, then we will shift. So trans will be equal to rendered in minus rendered in X. Otherwise we don't shift, we leave it at 0. And that's it. As easy as that, we have a camera, a room by room camera. Of course, it only works for 2 rooms right now. So what we should do is kind of, I suppose we can divide the coordinate of the player by the width of a room, and then we get the index of, the coordinate of the room that we want to show. So if you're following that, room X divided by rendered in, and I never know, will it round down? Yes, it will, right? Yeah. It will. This is the float, this is an int, so the result will be a float. We can explicitly round to int, or floor to int, meaning it will round to the closest int below our float. So basically we take the position of the player, we divide it by the width of a room, and then we get in which room it is as an int. And then we can just multiply the translation, the horizontal translation by the room. Yeah, the room, how do you call that? Number? Or the room coordinates? coordinates in room units. Okay, so I just reset the game, or the position of the player, should I say. Okay. I have to check this little checkbox so I don't edit by mistake. That's the idea. But for now, it's not very useful. Okay, so let's put some stuff here so we remember. Up. And that's it. Room navigation was super easy, actually. Let's do it for the other axis, so we can also go up and down. Okay. Player pose. Render dim Y. What am I doing? I'm not thinking straight. So this, we don't need this if it was experimental, like just to see if we could make it work. So we don't need that as well, or either. And hold on, no, we do need that. That was just rounding. Interesting, that was just rounding the translation values, because I think previously I had some translations that were not integers. I can remove that. I think this was for another game that I copy-pasted from, where the camera was smoothly moving. It doesn't hurt though, but yeah, let's keep it commented up. Let's remove it. Okay. Okay, so now we need this, and we'll be good to go. That's Y. All right. Restart. Actually, I didn't need to restart. I could have just switched to the other window. Up. Let's do a path, because we cannot jump yet. Oh, the point of the game is you cannot jump with this character. So let's switch to editor mode. We have our little room. And okay, I make it wider. Wider. Draw some stuff on top so we have a frame of reference. Oh, and we want to, of course, we want to try going down as well. So let's do a little passage here and make a small room. Okay, or a big room. And we switch back to the game. Okay, so we go to the right, just checking that it still works. Oh, we are already at the... That's a lot of tiles. Did we really have that many tiles? I guess, yeah, I guess. Okay. Beep. So switching to the editor. Okay. Okay, so it works fine. Shit, I cannot go back here. Okay, reset. Tack. So when I reset, it just... Yeah, it works vertically as well. When I reset, it just sets the position of the player to 0, 0, or some kind of initial coordinates. And that allows me to get unstuck. Okay, so everything works as it should. Now what I want to see is, when I'm in this view, I want to see where the boundaries of the rooms are, right? So that I know where to edit and where to put the level elements, so it's kind of intuitive for the player. So to do that, I just have to draw lines, basically, like draw a grid. And that's also quite easy to do. We'll just go, so render, this is all the player logic. This is where we start to draw off screen here. Editor mode is the navigation thing. I should probably comment better and like section my function a little better. Copy paste part of the tile map. Oh yeah, that was just testing code that I could really honestly remove. Yes. don't need to test that anymore. Rendering the tile map, drawing the player, and do we want to... Yeah, we can just draw the lines on top. Actually, we can draw them from tilemap render, so it's available to other games. Although no, because I don't want to have the concept of rooms tied to the tilemap itself. So I'll draw it here. So draw room guides. I'll call them guides. I think that guides is pretty self-explanatory. So if we are in editor mode, we want to draw some lines. So draw rects. So let's think. I'm typing, I'm not really thinking what I'm doing. So we want to draw many lines. First, like vertical lines to denote the horizontal separation, basically. So I could go like room x 0. So that will be like, I will increment that at each iteration, and maybe we want to draw like 20 rooms or something. Room x plus plus up, and then we want to draw a vertical line, and to draw a line we actually draw a rect that has a width of 1. So position will be row, like x position will be room x times the dimension of a room, so that's actually rendered in. And by the way, I'm like tying the visuals to the word units, like to the logic. Maybe that's could be an issue in some kind of games, but in this one I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna change the resolution or anything. And even if I did, I could just change the render theme, like this thing, like this constant. So I don't have to worry too much about that. Okay, so that's the positioning of our vertical line between each room. And this should be just, we'll just put it at 0. Like vertically, the rectangle will start at the top of the screen, and actually we'll make it much higher after. And then the width of the line will be 1. Or even like we can make it short, like smaller than 1, because we'll render it at a much higher resolution that those units are. And then vertically we just make it very big. Okay, you'll see in a sec. And then the separation, what color do we want them? Like in Godot, purple, like so we have proper purple. We also have cyan. No, cyan is blue. What is it's out of my memory. Magenta, of course, but pink will do as well. Oh, okay, magenta. Oh. Okay, so it's not yet showing. Okay, it is showing, but it's flickering because I undershot for the width of the line. Definitely undershot. You can see it's a 10th of pixel on pixel. Let's do half then. Okay. Okay, not too bad, but actually quite bad. So let's make it 1. So the problem is, so it would be ideal to make them fixed width, depending on like the width should be fixed in regard to the screen, but I don't have a scaling factor on hand that accounts for the zoom and everything. That's something else I should put on my to-do list to fix in the engine. All right. And also it could be less a problem, those thin lines, when you zoom out, if I enabled anti-aliasing. Problem is, if I do that, I can show you. No, that's not here. That's here. Okay. Oh, is it? No, I think sample count. Okay, that's the Sokol app description. It's the thing that I use, so I should restart for this. It's the thing that I use to handle the windowing and the rendering. Okay, and so if I enable multi-sample anti-aliasing, it's less of a problem, the thin lines, because we sample at many positions for each pixel, in this case 4 positions. But the issue is this, like the tiles are all bleeding. They are bleeding. I think because like the multi-sampling samples a little bit outside of each cell, basically, because it sees that the limit of the cell is halfway between 2 pixels, so it will sample past that line somehow. So yeah, but anyway, I really don't need at all multi-sampling in the game view. So why enable it? So I just disable it, and I don't have any bleeding. That's it. There could be some ways to fix the bleeding, but that way I don't need to bother at all. Okay. So we have those separation denoted. Are they correct, actually? Like the red box is just how far we drew on the, or we've drawn on the tile map. It's the bounds of the tile map. Seems like it's correct. Yes. Amazing. Let's make a little bridge so I can walk across. Whoops, I just resetted, sorry. Key combination is close to the editor one. Editor. Right. And now if I want to go down, so that would be going down here, and then maybe we can go down to a lower floor. So let me just draw the guides for the other axis also. Up. Why? I feel like I'm spending my time just replacing X with Y. Of course, that doesn't work. I should use my brain a little bit more, because I should also invert the axes here. And here as well. So we want something that is very, like to trace horizontal line, we want something very wide and very thin in height, very short, I suppose. All right. So that should be the bottom of the screen, and then we fall, and let's make a little secret pathway, like in Animal World, right? On the bottom. And the pathway should pretty much align with the limit of the web. Let's go through here and here, and the pathway aligns. So that's good. That's good news. Oh shit. Okay. Okie dokie. So I should probably close my mail client and okay. So the guides are done. That's a check. What do I want to do now? I could start, so what I plan to do for this live stream is also implement the frog. So the frog is the second character that you can control after the kid. You transform into a frog basically, and that allows you to jump. Let me show in practice what that looks like. I don't know if you have audio from the game or not. Okay, so that's a frog. And if I mimic its melody, it's a song, I transform into a frog. Again, inspired a little bit by Animal Well, I guess, or Zelda for the flute. And so you can like jump around. You cannot walk, you just jump. And basically, if I hold the left button or A, and when I release, it will jump. And I can hold it long or short, and it will modify the length of the jump, right? So I can do many small jumps or one huge one. Da, 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 da. I'm a frog, I'm jumping around. And here the sounds are very cool, by the way, like frog sounds. I hope you can hear them. It was a fun jam. It was like many cool people that did small parts of the game, and it all came together at the end. All right. So that's what I'm going to try to implement next, the frog behavior, and maybe this bousier. I don't remember how to say in English, how it's called in English anymore. All right, so let's get to it. Let's implement the frog. First of all, we need the asset, and I think the asset. Let's go to well, Wildwood melodies. The assets. Okay, no, the assets are not yet here. Okay, the assets are in this folder, I suppose. Okay. And frog. Shitball frog. Frog. Where is the frog? Here. I don't know why I didn't see it. We got the sprite file as sprites, and the PNG. We'll take both and use only the PNG, but it's nice to have the sprite next to it if we need to edit it. And it's the same concept as the kit, like you have all the frames side by side, all the frames have the same size, so it's pretty easy to animate, like to draw the animation. Let's see how I did it before. So draw player, that's the thing that draws the player. I will actually put everything in the scope, so it's like slightly friendlier. Or maybe make this a little bit more, like stand out a little bit more. And let me bring back the chat in case somebody stops by. Okay. So that's drawing the player, and what we want to do is switch to the frog image when we are in frog mode. So first of all, we should track whether we are in frog mode. So I think I will do a enum. Sorry, I'm having trouble speaking English. Enum, just an enum. Right. Enumeration. Hold on. I'm having some doubts. Can you pronounce that? enumeration, 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 sure. All right. So in my head it's kind of clear, but when I try to speak, sometimes my pronunciation is fucked. Okay, so character mode. And then, so this will be a enumeration. Enum, it will be an enum. It will be a enum. Okay, I'm stopping now. That contains all the modes that your character can be in. So kid would be the default. And then you have frog. And you already saw the chameleon. I think we have, let's make them all. Dragon. We have, so I don't remember, dung beetle, that's the name. Whoops. Dung beetle. Let's make it camel case for the actual thing. And let's remove all these zeros, of course, so it's incremented automatically. So the kid will be 0 because that's the default state. And then we have the frog in order of gameplay that you encounter them. Usually, if you don't cheat the game or find some alternative way to play, it's frog, dung beetle, dragon chameleon, or chameleon dragon, dragon chameleon, I think. Yeah, so that's all the modes that your character can be in, and I'll just store that next to, like in the game state, just like this. Character mode. Okay, that's something, and then so one thing we will need, yeah, I'll do that later, but one thing we need now is the tile sheet, or not the tile sheet, the image that contains all the frames of the frog. So frog image, could call that a sheet, I don't know, that's fine. Kid image, plop. Okay, and I'll just load the frog image when the times come. So this is just code at the start to load the images. Frog, of course. Losing my mind. Okay, frog image. This is just splitting the tiles for the tile map. And I still have this. Yeah, it's very redundant. I should definitely fix it. There is so many things that now doing the stream I realize I should fix. But I don't want to do it in this stream. Maybe I should do some more like cleanup game engine development streams. Maybe that would be fun. Although I'm worried that people won't be able to follow because yeah, at least here you have something visual a little bit that you can check. See the progress is there. So okay, so we import and load this frog image. And now we should switch to the frog image when we are in frog mode, right? So let's do just a big old switch. Yeah, switch, game state, mode, character mode, and then case, character mode kid, break, never forget the break, and then we just do a variable, handle, image, image equal this. So yeah, here I could just set it to 0, and then when in the switch I just set it to the corresponding character mode. Frog image, and then later we'll add more. And what's that? Animation value, of course. So we don't handle all the options, so it's complaining, which is kind of nice because now, yeah, I guess so. I'll comment out those that we don't use yet. When we use them, we'll uncomment them, and then it will give us errors where we need to implement, like fill in some stuff. So that's actually quite nice. Right. I think we're good. Right. So now the image will be dependent on the mode that we... Oh, it crashed. I think it's because we are accessing an image that wasn't imported yet. That's also a failure of the... Like, something in my engine work well, but not in every kind of, like, every games that I made with it, because I didn't take the time to set it up correctly by default, let's say. Should really do a pass on this stuff. So what should I do next? I should allow changing the current character, right? I think I will do that just with the, again with the keyboard, because it's convenient. So here we have some controls, move, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, the collision, game logic. Oh, I guess we can put it here. So key just pressed, and it will be like the number 1 on the keyboard. So I think it's alpha or key 1. Yeah, key 1. That will switch to the kid. So mode, character mode. It's not a great name, character type. I don't know. Character mode, kid. And what I want to do is not to have to put a if statement for every kind of character that we want to support. I want that keys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are mapped to each kind automatically. So what I should do is add an enum member character. By the way, I write it wrong. Character. Okay, so let's search and replace this, because let's fix it now. Okay, done. So we should add what did I say, an entry to this enum or a member that goes at the end, and it will be called count. That's a trick that allows you to know how many items or how many values your enum has. And I can use that to loop through the mode. Sorry, my brain is a little slow. Plus plus, plop, plop. Okay, so we are looping, and what we want to do is like increment this by 1. So key 1 is actually a number that represents the key 1 on the keyboard, and conveniently the number keys are in a sequence, like they are contiguous, and their values as well. So we can just increment this by the number of iterations we did in the loop. And likewise, we can increment our little kid value. And then when we do the second iteration of the loop, and I will be 1, then kid plus 1 will be equal to frog. Simple as that. Let's check that it works. So if I press 2, nothing happens. Okay. I have a compilation error. I see now that this is red. I wish it was more visible. Maybe I can find some way to make the whole thing screen red or something. Oh, that would be nice. I should look into that. Should make a note of that. Anyway, not now. So, oh yeah, count is not handled in Switch. Yeah, that's typical. A bit annoying, but I have to make sense since I enabled this warning. So if we pass count to this switch statement, that's bad news. So we want to stop invalid character mode passed. All right. Did it reload? Yes, I think so. At one point I had a message showing like on the game, like game reloaded. It was pretty nice. I should put it back in. Nice. So when I press, it works. The animation works already. That's awesome. So when I press 2, it transforms into a frog, and when I press 1, it goes back as to a kid, which is pretty neat. Now, when we are oh my god, that's so cool. It works out of the box. I think that's just I was lucky that the frames kind of match. Right. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 frames of idle, and then 5 of not idle, of moving. But here we have 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we go, oh yeah, there is 1 frame in there of frog facing us. Makes sense. So if I go back to my thing, anyway, the animation is very different. Let me think for a sec. So what I want to do, maybe I should do the logic before going too wild on the animations, because of course we need kind of a system to track all those animations. Or we could reuse some stuff that I did for previous game. But okay, so let's do the movement code first, because it's kind of the most important to get right first, and then we can map the animation on it. So what I want to do is, instead of pressing the left and right button, moving the frog, it should not move the frog, but instead charge the jump. And for that we need to track how much the jump charged. So jump charge will be a value in the game state, just like this, kind of global. And when we hold, so that's drawing, but we want the actual gameplay, like game tick, game logic. So we calculate the limits, that's for collision. And here we actually move. Movement inputs. All right. And then we apply the collision. So we move and then we clamp. That's one approach. That's one approach. And this was to debug, I guess, to go. Yeah, if we maybe we should have a mode where we can fly for debugging. That would be nice. Just have to stop applying gravity. And now I can fly around the level with the animation a bit wrong, but kind of right. So yeah, so that would be for the kid, right? That will be specific to the kid. If mode kid, we do all of this. Maybe we have a special mode like developer where the visual transform into the portrait of a dev and you can just fly around. That would be fun. If instead we are a frog, so I could use a switch as well, but just lazy. If we are a frog, we want to charge. So if the movement inputs, is that a float? Yes, float, left or right, I guess. So 1 if we are going to the right, -1 if we are going to the left. So we are going to make it an absolute value, so it's always positive. And if this is bigger than 0, means that we are pressing either buttons or moving with the joystick. If that's like maybe for the joystick we need some other kind of skin because it feels weird to charge with the joystick on the left or the right. Not sure. I should try it before I do anything. So if we are currently moving to the right or the left, we want to charge. So increase basically the value of the charge, a jump charge. We increase it by delta time. Delta time is not defined currently. It's also something I need to do in the engine properly. For now, what we do is we just use so-called app, SAP, so-called app frame duration, and that's it. And I think it's pretty stable, not a number that changes all the time. Like if there is a little hiccup, this number stays pretty stable, I think. So either a rolling average or something like this, or just fixed, I don't remember. But it would be nice to have our own timing functions in the engine, or functions or values that are like fine-tuned for the specific use that you need, like one for visuals, one for game logic, one like fixed, one scaled, so you can slow down time. That would be neat. Okay, so now our frog doesn't move when I try to move, but it still turns. That's nice. That's handled by the animation code, drawing code. But the jump charge should increase, and I can visualize that. So drag. It will be a bit small, as always, in the top corner. Also, when I move the mouse close to the values, they disappeared. That's something I tested, I'm trying out, so that if there is something in the game I want to see here, I can just move the mouse. But now I cannot show. So jump charge is at 547. If I move, it's increasing. If I stop, it stops increasing. Great. Now the only thing we need is, so probably we should clamp it to maximum, but also when we release, we should jump. That's it. As easy as that. And actually, it will be even easier than that, because how do you know when you release, I guess, that's when this is 0. Well, yeah, that's it. Like in the else, which means when this is 0, we can just jump. If the timer is charged. Easy. If this is bigger than 0, then just jump. And how do we jump? That's also super easy. We just change the velocity of the player, because the velocity will be used. So I guess where do we actually use the velocity? Here. Strange. That's quite dumb, actually. Because we kind of lose on the... No, that was actually a bug, I think, that I solved with adding some margins to the collision code. That's because, like, I mean, if I move before doing any kind of yeah, that's facts. Because calculate the limits means like calculate depending on our current position until what value in each axis we can move. So if it uses the current position, this move can be illegal, like we can move inside something. That's pretty bad. So we want to do that after, like, yeah, we want to do that like basically here, before clamping, but after calculating the limits. All right, so we just have to set the velocity when we jump to some fixed value, and that will make us jump, right? Physics, you know. So we want to move forward and up at 45 degrees, let's say. Charge, release, it doesn't work. Maybe the values are way too small. No. Jump charge has to be bigger than 0, that's for sure. Actually should see it. I don't see it. What the heck? It compiled. So I just removed the tracking, that's why. Track. Not vel, charge. My bad. Did we lose all the... What happens? Oh no, we just fell. And stopped for some reason here. Okay, I don't know what's going on anymore. So what if I turn back into a kid and reset? Okay, that brings me back up. So there is something wrong here. I guess this is wrong. Like I go... Alright, I forgot that the y-axis is going down in this engine. And so I was trying to go very, very fast into the ground, which doesn't work. So we can go back to more reasonable values, turn into a frog, and yeah, we are rising up. So why are we rising up like this? That's because the jump charge is never reset to 0. So we always go in that branch, basically, when we are not trying to move. We can just reset that to 0. Okay. So we are jumping just very high and not falling back. Interesting. Is the gravity not working anymore, I guess? Because I disabled it, or what? Let's turn into a kid. We don't fall either. I think I just disabled it. I'm stupid. Player velocity. Oh no, it's here. Then why? Because, okay. So when we are outside of the bounds of the tile map, the game thinks it's solid. That's just why. Okay, I see. I see. Oh boy. Yay! The frog jumps. The frog jumps. A bit too far, perhaps, to be honest. Okay, so what we need to do here is multiply to be frame rate independent, or kind of frame rate independent. We need to multiply the acceleration per with the delta time. That would be for the gravity, and so we should also compensate in this way, like until the gravity feels right. Yeah, that's too high. And maybe we can make that a constant. That way we can tweak it easily. I can make put all the gameplay constants kind of close to the moving code. I think that would be best. Okay, that's gravity for you. And let's also make the movement code frame rate independent, quotes and quotes. Player position, player val. Right, so now we go super slow. So we should multiply by about 60, I suppose. So that would be 600. Yeah, and multiply as well the jump thing. Here we should multiply also by 60, so let's try. So the jump is very small, very ridiculous. So I think multiply again with 60 because like this is the velocity, not the, I don't know. Well, I just multiply by 2 here. So let's try to find the magic number. That's way too strong. That's way too little. We can change only this axis because the other doesn't seem to. Eh? Oh no, we are underground. Okay. That's more reasonable. We can chain them and fly. Yes. Jump, 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 fall. Yeah, we are in the ground. Jump, 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 jump. We reach out of bounds. We are in solid sky. Fall. Yes! Interesting, we only go one tile too far. Let's check the chat. Okay, nobody here yet. I'll just leave it on the side. So now I want to investigate why I'm not moving like laterally. I suppose somewhere someone is setting the velocity to 0 somehow. Probably not this because we are not in kid mode. Here we don't really touch the player velocity except here. Here we do set the velocity, but only if we are going down or colliding like vertically, I think. Like here. Oh, we don't have collision for the ceiling. Interesting. Look into that later. And this we can bring up actually. Make more sense to have it here. So what is stopping us from moving sideways? Something up? No. Oh, wait a sec. I think we are setting the velocity just fine, but probably not using the velocity in the x-axis at any point. Yeah, that's it. We just move depending on the velocity, but only on the y-axis. So let's duplicate it for the x-axis. Yes. Perfect. So now it jumps toward the right, always. Oh, I cannot draw under that. Interesting, the preview still shows, and I don't know if you see that, but the little preview square shows, but it doesn't draw. Maybe we can fix that real quick. I like that this is consistent, so tail map, gray. And I remember it's transparent square preview, it's called. Preview rect, that's the one. So 18, right. Mouse cell chords. I suppose we should have a second variable that tracks if the mouse is over something. Or just if the mouse is blocked. Mouse cell chord is valid as a mouse blocked. If the mouse is not blocked, the chord is valid. And so each time we use that, we should make sure. Well, if we are dragging, it's fine to draw under here. But if we start dragging here from the panel, then it's not fine. Which makes it a bit more complex. Shit. Let's leave it aside for now. It's a tangent. I thought I was going to do it in 2 seconds, but it's more complex than that, so I'll leave it aside for now and go continue on my frog. Nice. Okay, so one thing, I should track the facing direction. By the way, do I already do it with the... No, so when I go left, the kid swaps back to the... Like it looks at the left side, and when I release it, looks back at the right side. Meaning that I don't track which way it's facing. So I'll track it in a float. Maybe that's a bit strange, but... Or in a int. Facing direction. Float feels more right to me. Pretty stupid, but I don't know why. Going back to the logic. Here we have the movement input. I think pretty much for all characters it's the same logic regarding facing direction. So we can just say like if input, what was it, movement input is bigger than 0, then we face right. If it's smaller than 0, then we face left. That will be -1 for me. And let's access that properly. It's in the game state, GS. All right. So we have a value that we can use. So the point of this is that this value will stay at 1 or -1. When we are not moving, it will stay at the last facing direction we had. And then we can use that. First of all, for the animation. That way we know if it's working. So draw player, there must be somewhere where I flip the UV rect, if I recall. Yeah, if movement input is smaller than 0, then I flip it. Instead of that, we can say if facing deer is equal to -1 or is smaller than 0, then we flip it. Right, so now when I go left, it faces left. When I release, still facing left. When I go right, faces right. When I release, still facing right. Pretty good. Next up, we can use this facing deer for whatever we were doing before, which was, kind of forgot, yes, the jump direction, right? Was I doing something else? I don't remember. By the way, we can remove this tracking. Right, so now we can just multiply the vertical velocity that we give when we jump by the facing deer. That's why I made it a float that is 1 or -1, is so we can multiply stuff with it. So turn into a frog, draw a small level, shit. Okay, whoops. Okay, so we went through the roof. I'll just reset the position. Perfect. Or almost perfect. So we are sliding on the floor. Interesting. Right. So what do we need to do now? So first of all, I can tune it a little bit, make it much less powerful. And we need to fix that sliding because it will make it very hard to play. Okay, so a little more powerful. And a little bit more vertical as well. Right, not bad. The hell? Okay, much better. Maybe it's a little bit too vertical now. I don't know. Let's fix the sliding first. Also, we should obviously use the charge value. Yeah, we should use the charge value. I don't remember. So let's clamp it, of course, first. Charge factor. This will be a value between 0 and 1. And for now, I'll just clamp. Oh, actually, I can use the function inverse. Or what is it? Lerp. Unlerp. What Unity calls inverse lerp. Is that right? Yeah, so if the value that we pass is equal to this, it will return 1. I could make it 2. And so if this is equal to 2, it will return 1. If this is equal to 0, it will return 0. And it will like do a linear mapping between like 0 and 2 and 0 and 1. That way we can, basically this becomes the minimum factor, and this becomes the, wait, no. This becomes the minimum time that you, like the minimum charge value, and then this becomes the maximum charge value. Right, and maybe I want the charge factor to have a minimum value as well, so then I should like group this between like 0.5 and 1. And that's basically a remap. There is a function that does basically this in one go. In A, in B, that's time. Out A, out B, out A, out B. And then the value that we input is jump charge. So yeah, so this is time, and this is factor, minimum factor, maximum factor. All right, and then we can just multiply both velocities axes, the velocity on both axes, by our factor. Hot reload, charging, releasing. Doesn't seem to work, but I can double jump or triple jump or quadruple jump, so I can get where I need to go. But doesn't seem to work correctly, which is weird because it's not clamped. Like if I hold very long, release. Ooh, I'm super jump. I'm jumping with the minimum value because I just set jump charge to 0 before doing this calculation, so of course it won't work. So if I hold long, jump super high. And yeah, actually my map function I think is not clamped. Is there a way to get it clamped? Under plurp. What I want to clamp is this. Oh. Okay, I go with unlerp. Just pass this and this, or no, this and this, and then I can clamp that. Right, yeah. And this isn't clamped, right? No, it's not clamped, so I can clamp that. Clamp. In Unity there is one clamp that clamps between 0 and 1, which is pretty nice. Wonder if I didn't saturate this one. I named it saturate. In Unity it's clamped 0, 1. Okay. So I can charge, release, jumps pretty far. Charge, release. Now the problem, so there is the sliding, of course. But it's also hard to get on the ledge. So charge, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's try to charge for longer. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, it's clamping properly. 1, 2, 1, 2. Should be 2 seconds to jump at the max height. So 1, 2. Right, 1, 2. My seconds were a bit fast. Okay, so it's kind of hard to jump on a ledge because when you hit the wall here, you lose your horizontal velocity currently, which makes it very hard to, like, it would be nice if just at the end you would just keep going a little bit. So maybe we can just stop cancelling out the horizontal velocity on obstacles and see what it does. Okay, 1, 2. Yeah, a bit aggressive, but we can see later perhaps there is some factor that we can tweak. Maybe you lose like a percentage of your horizontal velocity. Like the longer you hit the wall, the more velocity you lose. Or we kind of keep, how could we call that? Like, yeah, like you keep some kind of, what's the name? Oh God, in physics when something is inertia, you keep some inertia, perhaps a little while. So let's fix the sliding. That's what I wanted to do in the first place. The sliding. So that's here. So I guess when we hit the floor, we set the horizontal velocity to 0. We could also set the horizontal velocity to 0, and that would stop the sliding for sure. Maybe that's just what we need to do. I wonder if there is some unintended consequences to this when we are kids. Maybe the acceleration is not correct anymore. Hard to tell. Oh, we don't even accelerate, we just go. Okay. So maybe we could do, instead of just cancelling out the vertical horizontal velocity, we could do some kind of friction. So multiply by some kind of factor. Each frame we take like 80% of the previous. Okay, the charging is very unintuitive right now. I think I will go back to the, like, add here to the behavior of the remap. So lerp. This is between 0 and 1. This. And we want the output to be between 0.5 and 1, so that we always start at 0.5. That way, if I just hit the button once, it will still jump. But if I hold, it will jump higher, and maybe the wait time can be lower. Maybe we go 1.2 or something like this. And then with the animation, we will get better feedback. So can we go up that ledge if we charge? Yes. Good. And the friction is not too bad. Could be a bit stronger. Should be frame rate independent, and it's not right now. I think if I use tens towards, that one is frame rate independent and should work for all these purposes. So target will be 0. Time to halfway. Time to halfway would be pretty short in this case. Delta time, we can just pass it forward. I thought it was by reference, apparently not. Okay, so the friction is much stronger here. Can try to tune it a little. That's pretty good. That's quite satisfying. Maybe we make it a little bit stiffer. So we were at 0.02, then 0.05, something in between. Perfect. Okay, I like that. Oh, yes. And we can still air jump. We should fix that. Also, we should fix the... So currently, the floor, or the ceiling, I mean, doesn't prevent you to go through. So we should just fix that really quick, which is easy. We just take this. I think the ceiling collision doesn't have friction. It's probably better for our purposes. And if we go smaller or equal to x, to y min, we set ourselves to y min. Where does the margin come in? Oh, in the limit itself, okay. And the velocity, should we reset it? I think it's kind of the same deal as for this. We want to... By the way, I put vertical, but... Actually, why don't we take this and do the same for this? Like, well, this is hard to test, but maybe for this we can... We'll try later. So y min, we don't compute it yet. Okay. Y min would be minus infinity. Round below, above. So that would be -1, code 1. Player calls y min. We don't have to take the height of the cell into account, like it's the top of... Hold on. Oh yeah, it's the top of the cell where the player is currently. So if we are here with the frog, this is the limit. That sounds correct. So let's put a ceiling here. Okay, we went through, but maybe that's normal. Okay, now we hit the ceiling. And yeah, I was saying, like, this doesn't feel supernatural that you lose your vertical velocity directly. it makes sense in terms of physics, I suppose, but to facilitate like to ease a little bit the platforming, I would like to make it that you keep your vertical velocity as you collide. So that's just the limits, and then here we do the clamping and modifying the velocities. So the vertical velocity when you collide with the ceiling, shit. So that would be this, I think. Top. Bottom. That's kind of the title of the section. That's left, and that's right. That's right. Right, so when we hit the top, we don't cancel out the velocity. Oh wow, that was strange. What? What? So for some reason we were able to get through. Oh, I bet I set the margins, tolerance or whatever, wrong. Like this should be plus margin. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So it looks like we are going into the thing, the ground. And we are actually going into the ground. That's actually not good. So let's check this limit. So where is so I just want to try a CD thing. Don't think it's correct, but okay. Ah, yeah, okay. So the problem is we are doing all collision tests from here, in the middle of the legs of the frog. And so it looks like we are going through the roof, through the ceiling. But in fact, we are like this point in between the legs is still below. And it looks like we are sticking to the ceiling because I removed that line, which cancels out the velocity, the vertical velocity. So what we can try, what I wanted to try before, was to use this tend towards. Basically, it's a damping of the vertical velocity. But we should do it only if this is negative, but I guess it has to be negative if we are going toward the ceiling, but still. Let's check if this is smaller than 0. Probably not necessary, but we'll still check. Then, hello. Hey. Somebody just walked in. Then we reduce, like basically it's like friction, but for the vertical axis when we are colliding vertically. So it's kind of weird, but but let's see how it feels. Yeah, I think it's not too bad. It feels less like we are sticking to the ceiling. 1, 2. It's pretty subtle, but it's actually working very well, I think. Awesome. And we can use some of this for, because here it's very weird. If I charge, go down. If I charge all the way and release, it will go like straight up and then shoots to the right, which doesn't feel great, doesn't seem right. So what we should do, like we could also slowly kind of erode the velocity on the x-axis when we are hitting the ceiling. So if what am I doing? If we are hitting the ceiling, not the ceiling, sorry, I'm getting tired. I should probably do a break. If we go toward the left and we hit the wall, or toward the right and we hit the wall, we will kind of reduce the horizontal velocity, but just a little bit. I think this is probably way too high, so let's try it already. So I go to in the corner, charge, 1, 2. Yeah, so okay. So you can see that we didn't really see any movement horizontally here, but we still moved a little bit because we stuck on the edge. So we can tell that we still moved a little bit, thanks to this line. And if we increase the value here, that's the time it takes for the value to get to half of what it was at any point in time. Charge, release, much better. That's great actually. Perfect. Perfect. It's kind of hard to get, yeah. Perfect. And I think here we see a combination of both, like ceiling collision, where I just hit the edge of the ledge. Not quite actually, but yeah. All right, so we can still fly. Maybe I fix the flying and then I do a small break. Let's see if fixing the flying is easy. When we hit vertically at the bottom, it means that we are grounded, right? So we can store that in a grounded player, grounded crew. And if we are not hitting the bottom, we can just set that to false by default. And then if we do hit the bottom, we overwrite the true. Up in the chat. So false, and if we do hit the bottom, we set it to true. And then we can just check here. Are we grounded? And if yes, we can do all of this. The jump logic. Jump. But only if we are grounded. Oops. Up. Player. Where is the charge here? We can just put it here. I guess we can group stuff related to the player. That would be up. Hot reload. Not bad. Maybe you should decrease a little bit faster actually, because it looks still a bit weird when you hit the wall. I don't know. Or maybe you should reaccelerate once it's... Let's tone it down a little bit. That was here, I think. No, here. So left and right. Oh, I forgot to copy it for the left side. That's why it seems much stronger, because I just forgot to copy it. What a stupid. Up. Okay, let's and let's try to do the same move. Much better. That feels so much more like what should happen. I love it. Great. By the way, if I change this value, if I ever change it, I will surely forget to change this one, or vice versa. So I should group them. So collided x will be false. Oops. Great. We're just deduplicating some logic. Those are still duplicated, but they kind of mean they are different, so it's fine. So what about... Oh yeah, we fixed the grounding. Okay, let's make a little platforming challenge. Maybe on the next, actually. So you jump here, then you go here to the ledge, then in this little passage, and then to the hidden room. Perfect. Okay, let's try this. So you are down here. Let's try to go onto this ledge. Yes. Yes, it's pretty intuitive to control, which is what I wanted to check. So that's great. Maybe let's put a surprise here. Some spiky spikes. Ow. Need to implement some spikes, collisions. And also maybe make it so the collision of the frog is more than just a point and more like a box. That's for another day. Right. So I think my goal for today was to do the room thing, which seems to work well. By the way, I could maybe fix it so it goes also on the left and on the top. like past the origin. Damn! Didn't realize I drew so many lines. Oh, okay, it's stopping here. They are just very long. Oh. So I clicked in the empty space and it resized my tile map. Now the tile map is truly huge and my computer is starting to lag a little, or the game is starting to lag. So yes, so I'm going to take a small break, and after the break I want to fix the frog animation so it looks like I'm charging when I'm charging. And then that will be all for today. Okay, so I'll leave the chat in case somebody shows up. Oh, that's a weird behavior. All right, and I'll cut the mic. Okay, I'm back. And what I want to do for the last part of the stream, which won't be so long, I think, but it would be great if I manage to implement or to finish the animation of the frog. Because right now, oh yeah, so it's going super slow, I think, because of the very big tile map. But right now, so the way it's supposed to work is when I press like right, it should charge the jump visually also on the frog. Perhaps I can show in Godot. So as I charge, the frog crouches, and when I release, bam. Also, the animation during the jump, I think there is one pause for going up and one pause for going down, and that's it. That works pretty well, so I would like to reproduce that here. And for that, I need to do some infrastructure to draw different animations at different times. Draw player here. Okay. So what we want to do is select different ranges of frames and actually control exactly which frame we show when. For example, so let's see. So this is kind of the animation logic, generic animation logic. Like, how does it work? So we have a delay. When the delay is bigger than a certain number, it goes to the next frame basically. And then we have when it reaches some limit, it goes back to frame 0. Yeah, I remember. This is not really the frame index, it's the frame index relative to the start of each animation, because then I add, let me see where I use it here, I add an offset. That way, the idle animation of the kid can start, is on the, oh yeah. The idle animation can be the first 3 frames, and then the rest can be the run animation. So perhaps I can keep this. But for the frog, we don't need any of this actually, because the current frame is controlled by either the charge of the jump or the vertical velocity. When going up, we look up. When going down, we look down. So when going up, this frame. When going down, this frame. And when idle, this is the okay, this is the charge, this is the jump, this we don't need, I think it's the same as this, and this is the idle. For the idle, we can just use this. Actually, it works well already right now. Although this frame would be like the opening of the eyes. So perhaps we can fix that. So if we are hold on. Right, so I think this is the... Right, this is the limit when we are running with the kids, like the number of frames you want to show. And this is for the idle. And so we want 4 frames, so we should put 4 or actually 3 because off by 1 stuff. And yeah, now it goes back to this frame when it opens the eyes. Yeah. So what we could do is do a little struct that will be like anim info or something. Sorry, anim info, and it would be an array, and then we can assign it to it directly. That's kind of a C thing. And it will contain idle frame count. Idle frame count because every animal I think has an idle animation. And that's it. So it could be just an array of int for now. For the kid, the values are, in this case, 2, not 2 is French. 2. For the frog, it will be 4. So actually, it will be 3 for the kid, I think. Off by 1. And so here, we can say if we are not running, so that's the idle animation. Anim infos, mode, character mode. So we'll just select which anim info we want. Anim up. All right, slowly getting there. So I think, yeah. So now what the fuck? That's just 1 frame too much because of the off by 1. And so to solve the off by 1, I suggest that we do if the frame index is equal or bigger or equal to be tolerant. And then it will be, instead of 5, it will be 6. Yeah. All right, so that's correct. That's also correct. We're good. I think that's also correct. Should be 3 technically. Yeah. And is the running animation still okay? Yes, it is. Great. Now for the charging animation. So I should really... So because my tile map is super huge, because I, by mistake, clicked... The heck? Uh-oh. Okay, I cannot move. Many strange stuff is happening. Okay, so I relaunch. I lose my level, that's a shame. I should just implement saving of the level. I think that would be extremely easy to do. So I should do it shortly. I missed the level I had, it was really nice. Boop. What was I saying? Right. So the amount of jump charge will control which frame we are in the frog animation. So we can just go back here. And maybe we can just let this run and then override. So what? Running movement input not 0. Yeah, that's not ideal. You can just go here. Overrides, previews. Oh, just overrides. Oh, shit. Sprite, index. So if we are frog, type no mode, character mode, mode frog. If we are frog, if the charge is bigger than 0, jump charge bigger than 0, we want to show sprite index zero, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we start with this, then this. Actually, only those two. Only those two. So it would be nice if we had one more. It would be really nice if we had one more. That indicates that we are fully charged. That would be really cool. Perhaps I should draw one extra. What did we say? Index 4. And plus, if we are more than halfway through the charge, actually this is the time that we've been holding. So since currently the maximum charge I think is holding for 1.2 seconds, maybe let's put like, it's not quite half, it's a little bit more, but I think it will feel better perhaps. Okay, weird way to do it. Maybe I could just use this because this will evaluate to 1 if the condition is met. So if we are higher than 0.8, right, that should already work, I believe. Yes, it actually works. Let's put a little stair here. Oh, wow, that was weird. Shit. Let's put a wall so it's easy to just climb. Perfect. So what was... Oh, by the way, we seem to be charging in the air. That's a bug. We don't want speedrunners to be able to charge while they are jumping. That would be unfair. Or maybe fun, I don't know. I think it's pretty good because it crouches whenever you are close to the max charge. Not quite at the max charge, so if you wait a little bit more, you can jump higher, but quite close. All right, good. Now, so let's fix that we can charge in the air, if that's indeed the case. Fuck. If the movement is if we are grounded, okay, no, we cannot charge in the air. Unless this is not correct, but I think it should be. Because the logic is that simple, we just set it here and here. So what's happening is actually the run animation is triggering, like the basic run animation from the kid, but applied to the frog. So that's just what's happening, which is fine. That's pretty useless, right? Maybe later on I will extend it with a second value and it will become more useful. So if we are not grounded, it means we are jumping, I think. Yeah, I think we can go ahead with this. That's pretty brain. What's the expression? That's pretty brain dead? No. A no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. What the fuck? Did you see that? There was a glitch. My mouse was just Oh yeah. Huh. Is the button changing size when I hover it? Strange. Anyway. So if we are not grounded, we are jumping. That's the idea. So sprite index should be set to, let's count, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 or 7, basically. 6 or 7. 6 or 7. So let's start with 6, and if we are going down, so if, sorry, player vel y is smaller or bigger than 0, remember the y-axis is going down, then we increment that by 1. I always forget that it's running in the background. So crouch, release, perfect. Oh, we are in the ground, see? That's bad. Don't know if you saw that, but we landed in the... That's actually kind of annoying because it seemed pretty robust, the movement code. Although it's just for a point and not a box at the moment. It seemed to never get stuck unless you went very fast. But I guess this is too fast, perhaps. We should do something to limit the travel speed per frame, or do more like sub-steps or something if we are running with a low frame rate, for example. But no, even if I jump pretty high, hehe, I like it. Even if I jump pretty high and fall down, I'm not going to the ground. So I could build a small ladder. Let's build a ladder. Up. A frog ladder. And test, like, if we clip to the ground when we fall down, we fall back down. Let's... Perfect. That's already pretty huge. So we go here, we walk up the ladder. and we jump. Right, okay, so there we get embedded in the ground. That makes sense. Okay, climbing up. Shit. Climbing up the frog ladder. The charge time is a bit long. We survived. Climbing up the frog ladder, climbing up the frog ladder. And jumping as far as we can. Hop. All right. Next. So that I'm pretty happy with that. I think the frog animation looks fine like this. Maybe I should really quick lower a little bit the jump charge duration. So I lower it to, it's at 1.2, I believe. I lower it to 1. And here to, like, the animation will trigger a little bit earlier, or even like I felt like the animation should trigger much earlier. So like this, then 1.2 here will become 1.8. That's pretty big of a change, but feels better. Yes. All right, so happy about the animation and the movement of the frog. The last thing I want to do today is to draw the rooms also on the left and on the top of the origin. Ideally, actually, to fit the bounds of the tile map. So since the bounds here go to the left, it should draw a room here, right? That should be easy to do. That should be easy to do. Guide. So instead of starting at 0, we will start at, let's extract that outside of the for loop so we can perform some stuff on it. First, let's get the tile map. Map. I think it's called just map. Tile map. Oh, it's in resources. Res. Tile map. And then let's see where we compute the bounds of the tile map. So in tile map. Oops, sorry. What? Tile map bounds. Drawing bounds. Perhaps we could compute the bounds, like provide a utility function that will return the rects. Maybe that would be kind of useful, although here it would be pretty trivial to just compute. Yeah, okay, I could just work from not the physical like coordinates, but the cells coordinates, not the word coordinates. So base chords can be base chords. So we could just divide it by the width of the room in cells, in cells. But we want it to work in the negatives, and it won't work like this. Like if if the base chord is here, it will be like -3 in the x-axis. And if we divide it, it will round down to 0. So that's annoying. Divide down, I don't know. Truncate towards 0 for non-negative 0. Floor. Ah, right. I suppose we could like work with floats and then round down. Truncation towards 0. That's I think on GitHub, STB has a pretty good, like Sean Barrett has a pretty good header that helps with divisions. STB divide, div trunk, div floor. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. Oh my god. It calls other functions. Oh my god. Okay, I'll try something. I'll try, because I need to try something to move forward. So room X float. So this is an int. This is an int. We'll make it a float, and we'll divide it by the width of a room, which is strangely enough render dim x. Oh no, actually no, that's room cell count x, since we are talking in cells. Dim. And this I should be able to truncate or floor to int, right? Would that work? And then this can become an int again. Yes, that actually works. See? That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Let's do the same for y. Actually, I can bring it up so it's more symmetric. Y and Y. Okay, fine. Now the lines. So first of all, let's do like, you know what I mean. Let's make it so that the lines stop at the bounds. So boop. So this 20 needs to go. Base chords x plus time map cell count. Easy peasy. That should do it. Let's do it for y as well, and hope that is correct. So room y and what gives compile error? What did I? Oh. I think that's working because you can see the purple line stop. Yes, it's working. It's working. Great. We just need one more line just to close the last cell. So easy, we just do +1 and +1, or if we want, we can also do smaller or equal. Oh wait, we need one more actually. Okay, so we do both. We do smaller and equal and +1. Perfect. And for the last bit of cleanup, we just need to start and end the lines relative to the bounds, I think. Or not necessarily the bounds, but relative to the rooms. So how can we do that? We can do like lines y or x. I mean, room x times tile width. I think that should be good enough for the horizontal line, so on the y-axis. Confusingly. Nope. Think. Room x. Oh yeah, times the numbers of tiles in a room. So room cell count. Perfect. This flickering is kind of annoying. Maybe I should make the lines wider for better or for worse. And a little bit transparent. Color with alpha. That's a handy function to make a color of transparent. Perfect. Wider but less opaque. Not bad. Right, so I can do the same for the y coordinates. Put that. Wait. So this I use here. So this I should logically use in place of the 0 here. Beam. Nope. They start way too high. I forgot to replace, as always. Perfect. And now just the endings need to be fixed up. So min will become max, bleep. And I should probably rename those to match. Yeah, forgot to use them. Of course, if I look at the result that I didn't, I just declare some variables and assign them, but didn't use them, it won't be very useful. So that will be y max, and that will be x max. Nope. Why? I really thought that would work. And that's got to be right. Ah, yeah. I should just add the min here, because we want, or in other words, like, since this is the max, that's the correct value. Here we want the width, so it's basically min plus max, right? No, it's end minus start. So max minus min line y min. Yes. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. X and X. Pretty good. And okay, we are off by 1 here. So what we can do is just for the max ones, we just add 1. Right? Oh, priority of operations, we add 1 here. Well, what about I add 1 here? I remove here. And I remove it here as well. And that should work, we don't use the variable. Yeah? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's restart editor. Up. Okay, small demo of what we did on stream today. So drawing rect seed works, but now when you draw past the first room, it spawns new, like these are just guides that tell you, that give you a visual representation of where the rooms will be split. And then if we return to the game and run right, run, when we move past the border of the screen, up, the room switches, the camera moves over. And what we did on stream as well was implement the frog mode, where we can charge a jump and jump. And so normally, if I continue my little platforming level, it should be possible to also move up through the rooms. Although here it's a bit hard to see. Oh no! We also implemented some friction and some tolerances for when you hit your head, you don't lose all of your velocity right away. All right, so that's an end of stream. Thank you if you are watching this. Thank you for following. I think in the next stream we'll probably do some level design, or not really level design. We'll just copy the levels from the Game Jam game that we made. But maybe we'll do some new levels as well. Who knows? And as I implement the levels of the original game, I'll implement the missing features. Namely, there are 3 or 4 other animals that need to be implemented, and also the sound of the flute. And I didn't decide what I will work first on the next stream, but for sure some level design, perhaps adding the background as well. And oh, the spikes should be added. They should be like make the they should damage the player. Ah, nice bug. So yeah, that's what we'll implement in my engine next time.